I think Sweeney's symptom is a perfect example of how inclusive toxicity works. You let everyone in, some of them cause problems for everyone, even when there was no problem to begin with. Some Democrats cannot stop thinking about Sydney Sweeney. They see her when their eyes are open. They see her when their eyes are closed. They see her when they're in their meme folder, and they certainly see her when they're in their passworded folder. She's causing them to lose their minds by doing pretty much nothing. Republicans aren't doing anything besides some light laughing at how the left is losing it over this woman being in a TV advertisement and the Democrats taking this as a challenge to further embarrass themselves. But much like our Lord and Savior, Gaben, first of his name, Republicans win by doing nothing as the left wing echo chamber implodes in its attempt to launch a combined arms attack on all fronts simultaneously. This woman was hired to make a commercial, jokingly talking about having good genes in a jeans commercial, because she is conventionally attractive, and the left wing called her a white supremacist as a result, and demanded her to apologize. When she refused to apologize to them for them insulting, slandering, and defaming her, the left claimed it was proof that she was a Nazi. Some in the right wing attached themselves to this drama, but most seem to just be confused or amused by it, as most Republicans are a bit older and don't have mental breakdowns when nothing happens, which is exactly what all of this is. Nothing. Remember all of those ads by companies like AT&T where they repeatedly insulted the size of the average man's manhood by talking about how great big gig energy was?
They're putting every single room to use, if you know what I mean.
Every room.
Even the garage.
Girl, I could use some of that big gig energy in my life.
AT&T Fiber with All-Fi.
That commercial in particular happened pretty recently, but you know there's loads of other ones. Now, do you remember anyone losing their minds over that? Calling AT&T sexist, misandrist, etc., etc.? No, it was a joke. Maybe one in poor taste and definitely a bad idea for AT&T considering that their biggest customers are likely males and that the average male doesn't have a big peepee, but it was still just a stupid joke. Just like the good jeans commercial. Was it inappropriate for TV? Sure. Was it political? No. So, who made it political? Why, the people who make caring a competitive sport, of course. The ones with nothing better to do than pretend to care. The Democrats have convinced themselves it was a psyop as they sit on Reddit and Blue Sky telling each other ghost stories in broad daylight, convincing themselves that ghosts actually exist and that their lives are in danger due to them. And yet, Sydney Sweeney's the psyop. They've convinced themselves that she must be evil, and they now spend their time attacking her or smearing her name, such as in these embarrassing comparisons to Predator Badlands. Here we have a post that is much like a sickly deep-sea fish that has come up from the depths and beached itself upon the sands. Okay Buddy Cinephile posts rarely make it this high up on Reddit. They rarely get to the tippity top, but this one, well, it had the sickness of wokeness, you see, with 28,000 upvotes and 1.7 thousand comments. Go woke, go broke, found dead in a ditch. A claim that Predator was now becoming woke, which it is, though I haven't seen Badlands yet. The Native American one was a little woke. The beginning was a little woke. The middle and end weren't really woke, they were just bad, which I would say the same of every Predator movie except for the first one. They were all bad. Even the ones that weren't woke were still bad. And they're saying this not really about Predator at all, but about, yes, Sydney Sweeney, who apparently made a movie that had really no marketing whatsoever about a female boxer, which I wouldn't say that's woke, but in the current the current atmosphere, the current climate, people would call that woke. So weirdly, you would think the Democrats would be in favor of that, but they're attacking her, of course, for it because she has become the icon of the right wing for that one stupid good genes ad, and that's really it. So you have these people like they're circle jerking their hatred for it's fascinating to me. They think they're progressive and they're intelligent and they're good hearted. They are making all of these posts. Not all of them. A lot of these posts are actually just completely nothing to do with this, or Sydney Sweeney for that matter. But some of them are. They're making a lot of posts and all of these upvotes out of hatred. This isn't progressive goodness. It's hatred. That's why you're here doing this. That's why you made this post, because you're a hateful person making hateful commentary. And by the way, the biggest Predator Badlands had the biggest worldwide opening ever for a Predator film with $80 million. Well, you know how inflation works, right? Like, the things they used to cost like $5, they now cost $500. Well, it's not that surprising that Predator films are going to have bigger and bigger openings. They're also going to have bigger and bigger budgets, and they're going to need to make more and more money. And with 80 million made worldwide on the opening weekend, well, the production budget for Predator Badlands is said to be 105 million, with some estimates suggesting the film needs to earn up to 210 million to start making a profit. Ooh, well, suddenly making 80 million doesn't seem very good. And by the way, if you don't know, most films tend to lose like 40, 50, maybe 60% of their income after opening weekend. So this could very well be breaking even with its budget of 105 million by next week, and it could even do worse, especially if you're supposed to if it really needs to make 200, because a lot of these things underreport. A lot of these movies, they underreport their budgets and how much they spend, and I don't know what exactly is going on there, if it's criminal or otherwise, but if it really needs to make 210 million, it's not going to do it. So, I don't really care if this is woke or not. I don't care about Sydney Sweeney. I don't care about her stupid Good Genes ad. I don't care about any of this. But things I love to see. OP's said this. Is this a question? Is this a question? Or are you saying what you love to see? Well, what I love to see is people making an ass out of themselves without knowing what they're talking about. And this $80 million worldwide, when it had a budget of 105 million, and it will probably need to make way more than that. Ooh, that's you making an ass out of yourself. That's what I see. And the comments, yeah, like I said, they're mostly nothing burgers, like people attacking Critical Drinkers fan base. Someone just asking if anyone ever called the Predator woke. People attacking Sydney Sweeney. Someone weirdly made the comment that they don't watch movies, but if they did, Predator Badlands seems like a good time. And they were upvoted like 15 times that I saw for it. What? You don't watch movies? But Predator Badlands seems like a good time. What is that even supposed to mean? That thread? As if the crack of a pistol shot starting a race for the special students caused Redditors to immediately spam copy-paste threads praising Elle Fanning's Fanny, many of which on r/OKBuddyCinephile, which is not normally quite so political, as if to say that she was actually more attractive than Sydney Sweeney. Now, which one's more attractive isn't the point. The point is... let's get this straight. The left wing are so mouth-frothingly mad about someone having good genetics that they then call that person a white supremacist. But the people calling Sydney Sweeney a white supremacist for saying that she has good genes, for herself saying she has good genes, these people then fantasize about another woman's turd cutter as if to claim that she has better genetics. Did I hit my head or something? Aren't the Democrats doing the exact same thing the Republicans aren't allowed to do when they fetishize the genes of Elle Fanning and glorify her body? Quick, somebody call him a Nazi so he stops realizing we're all hypocrites. Look, I understand some engaging in this utter nonsense regarding Predator Badlands are just there for the sake of the cake memes, and they don't actually care about Sydney Sweeney. But that's not the impetus behind the threads. These threads exist as an ill-conceived counterattack against the imagined homunculus of Sydney Sweeney crafted by the animus of the Democratic Party, though they seem to have sacrificed their logic and sanity instead of their arm and leg. And neither this scarecrow Sweeney that they've erected in their own fields to use as a training dummy, nor the real Sydney Sweeney, whatever her political views actually are, represent Republicans as a whole, any more than an animated bottle of blue hair dye represents Democrats. The difference is that I don't think Republicans would embarrass themselves by attacking an animated bottle. But I do feel like Democrats would protect that bottle's identity as a proud, upstanding, non-binary member of the bear flag state, which I had totally forgotten that California had a bear flag, and it really puts some new context into the whole man versus bear thing. You may think that I'm reaching with that, but I've already seen people comparing Republicans to Caesar's Legion, which are in the upcoming season of Fallout. I have already seen people on Reddit stating that every Republican did the Legion's campaign in Fallout New Vegas because Republicans are evil, so of course they would side with the Legion. And for those who don't know, the Legion is a replica of the Roman Empire, complete with egregious slavery, and their primary enemy in Fallout New Vegas was the NCR, or New California Republic, represented as normal society in the game. Mark my words, after Season 2 hits in December, you will see, just like with Andor, Democrats role-playing as NCR Rangers and claiming that they are fighting against fascism in the USA. If you're like me, and you have a weak constitution for cringe, I suggest you start taking your calcium pills now so as to avoid your spine crumbling to bone dust from the paralyzing third-person embarrassment you'll feel upon bearing witness to their cosplay, which, considering how simple it is, I suspect we will inevitably see. The truth, at least as I see it, is that two white women who were willing to sexualize themselves for money did just that and got caught up in a political war by fanatics who would even wind the wind's winding into a political farce were it to blow smoke upon the wrong side of their face. Make no mistake, some Republicans talk plenty about weaponizing weather, and they too should be shamed into silence, as they are an embarrassment for their party as well, but most of these fanatics are Democrats, whose motives are necessitated by their agenda, which mandates them mask their own sexism and racism by incessantly accusing others of being sexist and racist. The Democrats are the only ones who don't realize they have no credibility left. They have long since equipped their potara and fused the boy who cries wolf with methinks the lady doth protest too much. If the only person you can convince with your lie is yourself, you're nothing but an anchor weighing down the Democratic Party. Consider the next time you dress down as a jackass and stand in the middle of the street, setting off fireworks that sound like explosives in the middle of the night and claiming that you're peacefully protesting. Consider when you upvote a Reddit thread without even watching the video or reading the entire title or article that it's referencing. Consider when you brag on AOC simply because of her gender and color, while she admits to interfering with ICE and while she insults people based on their physical appearance. Consider when you cheer for Newsom, even though his political campaign appears to be little more than trash-talking Trump and bragging on California, which will do nothing to feed and shelter you. Now, the average Democrat acts as anthropomorphic concrete shoes, who's only capable of helping their politicians drown. And as a result, all of your politicians are doing just that, followed promptly by the Democrats complaining about how their leadership is useless. Get it together. Stop complaining about things that don't matter. Sydney Sweeney's stupid commercial doesn't matter. And it's not racist. It's just a bad joke. Not even clever. Jeans? Jeans? Really? Really? Just get over it. Oh, and I was clearly lying when I was talking about r/OKBuddy Cinephile. They spam left-wing stuff all the time. Not as bad as other subs. There's still other things of some merit in this sub, but most of it is just this kind of crap. And by the way, here's them using another white woman who's okay with sexualizing herself in exchange for fame and fortune, and saying that she too, without even mentioning her name, saying that she too is genetically superior to Sydney Sweeney. Again, did I hit my head? Anyway, thanks for watching.
Take care now. Bye-bye then.